everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and here on my YouTube channel. And today we're going to take a look at another cool studio emulation plugin by Ikmultimedia. This time we're going to take a look at the Farm Stone Room. So this has come out, I don't know, probably a couple of months ago. I'm a little bit behind on this just because busy with other videos for you guys. But this is a very cool plugin. Now, I've done reviews on the channel both for the Ikmultimedia Sunset Sound as well as the Fame Studio emulation as well. And this is a little different, but again, they've emulated studios again. And I love this because I think Ikmultimedia probably does the best job of these kinds of things. Prior to Ikmultimedia, the ones I used to use, and the only one I ever used to use, was the Universal Audio Ocean Way, which is great. Very expensive. You have to have UA hardware. You only have one studio, although it sounds great. But Ikmultimedia has done a really, really good job. So if you haven't checked out the Sunset Sound or Fame, you should check the links in the description box below. Go check out those videos. They're really cool. This is another cool one. We're going to take a look at this and listen to this on some drums because that's really what it's for, and see how it sounds. Where Sunset Sound and Fame, it has room emulations of all the different ISO booths and everything from drums to keyboards, guitars, and vocals. This is more geared towards drums. Very cool plugin. But before we get to that, if you like what you see in the video, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, and if this video helps you in any way, please consider hitting the super thanks underneath this video. It really does help me out. Also, if this is your first time here, go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. I want to give you a free mixing course. It's my gift to you. It's worth $100, $100 course, absolutely free, no strings attached. It's my gift to you just for visiting homerecordingmadeeasy.com. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'm going to give you something else for free. So we're going to walk to the controls. We're going to listen to it. It's a pretty simple plugin, pretty versatile. Now, full disclosure, Ikmultimedia did give me this plugin so I could bring this review to you, although they don't see the video, they don't tell me what to say, blah, blah, blah. You hear me say that in every single video because it's true. The other thing is Ikmultimedia, in lieu of payment for the video, they always give me a couple additional free licenses to give away over at my mixing membership website, mixingmadeeasy.net, as part of our monthly member mixing contest. Say that 3 times fast. If you don't know what mixingmadeeasy.net is, click the link in the description box below. It is the best training for mixing for any experience level on the planet. I promise you, and you'll have a chance to win this plugin as well as other great plugins on a monthly basis from all the major manufacturers. So check that out. So we're going to be giving this away as well, but they gave me mine for free. So you know up front. Okay, let's walk through the control panel here and let's check this out. There's a manual that you can read online if you want to learn all about it, but this is the famous Stone Room studio. And so let's take a look. We're going to start at the top left-hand corner. We have a bunch of presets. Now, if you set yours up as a send or an insert, depending on how you do it, you have different presets for that, which is kind of cool. We're setting ours up as an insert, as an insert today. Then we have this wonderful, image of the studio here, which is really cool. And you can see the stone brick wall all around the studio. That's what made it famous. Got a lot of reflections. Not a very high ceiling in the studio, but all the walls in stone, which is good. Underneath that, we have some controls for pre-delay, the size of the room, the decay of the room, the decay of the reflection of the reverb, the size of the room. We have a high-pass filter that we could put in that'll cut off the high end before it actually hits the reverb engine. Then we have this button here called Curtain Closed. And if you look behind the drum kit and I hit this button, what that's going to do, it's going to close the theater curtains there to dampen the sound a little bit. So you're not getting the reflections off the back wall as much as you're getting them off the side walls. Really cool. Now in the center here is where all the magic happens. So we have 3 different sections here. We have an input gain here, which we could switch to mono. Input's how hard we're hitting the plugin. Pretty self-explanatory. If we want to fold it to mono, we can do that. We have a pan as well. And then we have a fader, and then we have a solo button so we can solo up just the dry sound, which we'll do in a minute. Next to that, we have the stereo room on its own separate fader, which is really cool. Also with a 3-band EQ, which is kind of nice as well. And we have a threshold here of how much compression that we want to dial into our stereo rooms. Now the stereo rooms are captured with a pair of U87s according to their manual, which is cool. And then how much you want to do wet dry, which is really nice. We have a pan and then a width. What do you want the width of the room to be? Size wise, which is nice. A fader and a solo, so you can blend it in with our dry signal. Then next to that, which makes this plugin a little unique in that we have a mono crush, which is really the SSL listen mic compressor that was dialed in here, where you get a really, really crushed sound. And again, you have a threshold control, a mix knob, a pan knob, an EQ here, a 4-band EQ or a 3-band EQ with a frequency selector. You can solo it and you can blend it. So you can blend all these things together to get something really dry, to kind of wet, to smash it and thrash it if you want to. So you can do parallel stuff. You can do all of that stuff. Then next to that, we have our power button to turn it on and off. We have a reset button to reset it to the stock or the factory settings. And then we have an output level control as well. You can also take the bottom corner of all the plugin alliance, my bad. Ikmultimedia. You could do this with Plugin Alliance plugins too, where you can resize the plugin, which is a beautiful touch. I like that depending on the size of your real estate. That's really cool. So what do we have here? Let me close this for a second. This is a song by the band, let me bring it up here, Ikmultimedia. This is a song called Going Yesterday. Really cool tune, acoustic rock. The main guitars in the track are acoustic. 2-man group that plays all the instruments, drum, bass, guitar, keys, organs, and everything, and all the guitars are acoustic. It's really cool. Thank you to Ikmultimedia for letting me use this song as part of our demonstration. Check the link in the description box below. They got like 4 albums out, and it's really great. Everything from ballads to pop to rock to rockabilly. Really, really cool. This is Going Yesterday by Ikmultimedia. Mixed one of their songs for them not too long ago, and here it is. So now what I did was, before the Farm Studio came out, this was mixed before that. So what I'm using on the drums right now is I'm using the Sunset Sound, and I'm also using on the snare a little bit of Slate Digital Verb Suite's Classic. So I'm just going to give you a little taste of what the song sounds like. Then we're going to bypass the reverbs I already have on the drums, and we're going to go to the Farm Studio. So if you want to know what the song is all about, here's kind of a taste of Ikmultimedia's Going Yesterday. Again, check the link in the description box below.
Choke it, no matter how you stroke it, I will not comply. Jump down, spin around, whatever makes you high. If you want it, go get it, but not me, forget it, I will not comply. Hey, I'm going yesterday, the way we said we'd never cave or waste, if only words to say, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Give a little plug for Ikmultimedia there. That's the tune. So now we were using Sunset Sound and, like I said, the Slate Digital Verb Suite's Classic here. Let me just solo up the drums of what that drum sound sounds like with those 2 plugins on it, and then we'll bring in the Farm Stone Room. From that, okay, that's what we were using there, and I used them as a send, and I was sending just the snare, the overheads, and the rooms. Honestly, that's all I was using to send to those plugins. So now let's go ahead and let's turn those off, okay? And now on the drum bus, just for simplicity's sake, we're going to add the Farm Studio, okay? Or Farm Stone Studio. So here it is at its default. Okay, that's the default. Now, if we just turn down, let's turn down the 2 stereo room and the crush room. Let's just hear the dry. Okay, there's the dry. So now we can put it to mono. or stereo. Now let's bring in a little bit of the stereo room. Let's just keep it as default. We'll bring it in and then we'll solo it up and we'll play with the compression a little bit in the mix knob so you can kind of hear what that does, and the width knob. So the EQ is really nice to have. That's a nice little touch here. So now it's kind of good. We can blend it in. You can see if you turn down the compression or turn up the compression, you get that compressed sound from those U87s. Completely dry. Really cool. Let's bring in now the crush. So we'll bring it in, then we'll solo it up. So you can really start to shape this thing and get it really big. I like to do this a little more subtle, and I know we're doing this in solo, and we'll bring him back into music in a minute here, but okay, let's close the curtains. So it's a subtle difference. It's pretty noticeable, but it's still in a subtle way. That's a really cool feature, the closed curtain thing. Kind of like that. Really cool. So now let's bring it into the context. Let's bring in all the music around it and let's see how it kind of sits, and then I'll take it away.
If you want it, go get it, but not me, forget it. I will not comply. Hey, I'm going yesterday the way we said we'd never cave or waste. If only words to say, yeah. Stop, don't kill my time. Better yet, don't try. You can keep on running, but I feel better. I mean it, no, never. I will not comply.
So I really like it. What I like this about but what's different about this between Sunsets Down and Fame is that they're different rooms, obviously, but this is really dedicated for drums, and you get that crush microphone as well as the stereo rooms. You can tailor the drums a little bit more than you can in, say, the other two. The other two are really cool, but this gives you a little bit more flexibility. Now, this plugin could be great for people who are getting mixed projects from drummers that recorded drums in a home studio in a small room where they didn't have the opportunity to go to a big, nice studio with a really great sounding room. Or also, I use this a lot when drummers send me stuff coming from an electronic kit. Okay, the electronic stuff, especially when they send me stuff from like Roland and some of these modules and stuff, and the ambience is kind of wonky sounding, I'll have them send me everything dry and then add something like this. It could really add a lot of life to your drums. But again, I personally like to do this in a much more subtle way than really, drown it in the room sound, because then it starts to sound unnatural. Because if you put the drums in this big, open, wild, amazing drum sound, and everything sounds big and spacious, and all your other instrumentation sounds a lot more dry, it could sound a little disjointed in my experience. And one of the good things about maybe using this in combination with something like the Sunset Sound or the Fame is you could put the other instruments in different ISO booths and different chambers and those kinds of things. You can kind of blend them together. Although I suppose you can also put this on anything other than drums. You could still put this on other instrumentation and get the sound of the room and do it in a much more subtle way. So I'm a big fan of the Ikmultimedia these types of plugins. Again, and like I said, it is a sponsored video and then they gave me the plugin, but I will say I have their whole T-Rax bundle. This is part of that. 80% of those plugins, I don't really like all that much. Ikmultimedia to me is a company that they're hit and miss. The stuff they've done recently, I really like. Some of their older plugins with their channel strips and their compressors and their EQs, it's kind of it doesn't blow my skirt up, so to speak. But these room emulations, the three that I keep mentioning, those are very cool. And soon I'm going to be doing the Joe Ciccarelli vocal strip, which looks very promising as well. So in recent times, I'm much more impressed with Ikmultimedia's plugin offerings than what may be in the past, and that's wonderful. So anyway, it's a pretty straightforward plugin. I think it sounds really cool. You could demo it. There's anything else on the market that's quite like this, and that's what I like. I like things that are a little bit more unique, things that are being done that haven't really been done before, and that's one of the challenges with plugin companies is like all these plugins, all these compressors and EQs, they've been modeled by everybody. How many more do we need? I like when I see companies do stuff like this where it's like you just can't get this from any other plugin, and it's very useful and it sounds legit and it doesn't sound fake and phony like a lot of cheap reverbs can sound. This is really cool. I encourage you to go check it out. I don't get a commission if you buy it or not. I'm just letting you know, I think it's cool and I really do like it. So thank you so much for taking a look at the Farm Stone Room by Ikmultimedia. Now, like I said at the beginning, I want to give you something else for just sticking around till the end of the video. So again, go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Get your free mixing course. Again, we're talking about mixing, right? You like that course? You say, I love Dave's style of teaching. Uncle Dave is someone I can relate to. That would be wonderful. And if you want to take one of my other paid training courses, I want to help you out. I want to give you a 25% discount. You use the coupon code YouTube25. That will take 25% off any training course on the website. We have everything from mixing to mastering, the EQ compression, recording, parallel compression, and so much more. Everybody from absolute beginner all the way up through advanced level mixing and recording engineers and everything in between. So go check out homerecordingmadeeasy.com. And last but not least, again, if you want to win one of these types of plugins, you can do so if you're a member of my mixing membership website, mixingmadeeasy.net. Again, all the links will be in the description box below. And until the next time, I've been Dave with homerecordingmadeeasy.com and mixingmadeeasy.net. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.